Good morning, y'all. And happy Mother's Day for all those fur baby and human baby mamas out there. Today we're going to talk about how you can grow one of these in your house, in your porch, or in a greenhouse. Mine is actually grown in the yard, except in the wintertime when I bring it inside. So the first thing we want to talk about is, of course, this one is almost 2 years old. I grew it from a pineapple out of the grocery store. So yes, you can get them out of the grocery store. This is the fruit that it's bearing. And these are called slits because they are coming out right at the bottom of where the pineapple is. Okay, this one down in here is called a sucker. It's actually growing from inside this. The sucker, which is this, will be my new plant, my new fruit-bearing plant, so that when I pull this fruit off, when it's ripe, I'm going to be growing some more fruit. And you can grow fruit off of your pineapple tree for up to 5 years. So don't throw your pineapple tree away once it's finished. These slits right here are kind of all around mine. And when these get about 6 to 8 inches tall, what I'll do is turn them, and they'll pop off of here, and then I'll have my new fruit, okay? So we're going to talk about how you can grow one of these at your house, regardless of where you live, because I live in South Carolina, zone number 5, and I have winters that are considered mild, but it's winters where this won't grow, okay? Not outside anyway, not all year. These are actually, the pineapple tree itself, or plant itself, is actually kin to bromeliads, or bromeliads. Everybody says it a little bit different, potato. Now, at the bottom of this, it's growing in soil, okay? You can water it because it's made to cup water coming down these into the plant itself, just like a bromeliad is. But you want to water the soil according to what time of the year is. I usually water mine once a week, and that's pretty much what I've done since it was born, or since I raised it. So once a week, but when you water it, don't worry if you get water in here, because the water will actually cup in the bottom down here, just like a bromeliad does, or bromeliad, okay? So these are the slits. These are the suckers. The sucker is going to give me my next fruit within the next year or so, for up to 5 years. These are the ones that's going to give me my new pineapples. Besides, when I get my pineapple, I'm going to cut the top off like I'm about to show you. But this will give you your new startings. Okay? Now, let's go over here. I'm going to set you down a minute and twist you around, because I'm going to show you what I do, or how I got that plant. So I'm going to flip you. Well, it's not letting me flip, so hang on a second, y'all. Well, that's okay. We're going to do something different, and it won't let me swap it around now that I got it started, so that's okay. This is what you're going to need. This is just a regular little cheap frosted solo-like cup, okay? You're going to need your pineapple from the grocery store. Now, I don't want you to pay no attention to all this deadness. Any deadness, you can cut off. See how we got the little tips here cut off? This one actually looked beautiful like this one whenever I purchased it. But it's done ripened all up, and as it ripens, the little tips will actually turn kind of brown. You're going to need you a really sharp knife, okay? Now, this is what it's going to start out looking like. This is going to look what the pineapple looks like after you cut the top off. I cut this top off of the top of this. You don't want to have any fruit on it. See how I went and took some of my leaves off? And it'll have little nodes, little nodes on it. And see how those little nodes, just after being in water for 3 days, has already started my roots? All of those little nodes are your roots. Okay? So when you take it off, you don't want to have any fruit on the bottom. So I cut at the very top to get this off. And all of these leaves here that were way down here at the bottom, as you can see right here, I popped them off. I just took them and pulled them down and pulled them off. And there was little tiny little nodes all around where this tan color is. Those are going to be your roots. So then I take that cup and I put water in it. I stick this down where it's going to be under the water, because that's where your roots are. But you don't want your water all the way up to the top, because you don't want it to sit down in there and rot it, okay? This is what you want. No fruit. You want just that little stump, okay? Then I trimmed off all the little dead tips. Anything that was dead, I trimmed all of that off. And it will take this, as you can see, it's already rooting. So it will take, I would let it stay in the water until it gets some roots that's probably several inches long. It's not going to rot. I stick mine up in my windowsill. It doesn't get direct light, but it gets indirect light. And I'll probably change this water out maybe once every 4 days, just to make sure it doesn't grow green or do anything funky in here and grow any kind of funky stuff you don't want to grow. All you trying to grow is a pineapple, okay? So, you're going to keep your water in there filled up, and then as up to, you know, where it goes above where that little rooting area is, but not where it's going to go all up in there and get in the thing and rot it up. You can stick them in dirt, all right? But I'm telling you, when I use water, I have 100% rooting. When I've used dirt, it doesn't root every time. So I think it's a little bit more particular when you put it in dirt, because probably it's related to how wet you keep the soil, how much sun it gets, and all that different stuff. I've had 100% success. Me and my dad used to grow these in his cookhouse, and I always have 100% rooting success when I use water and not dirt. When I use dirt, sometimes I get 100%, sometimes I'll get 75%, whatever. So I want 100%, so I use water. So you start with your pineapple, cut the top off. So right here, when I'm looking at this, what I would cut is right there. You don't want to cut down here in your root. You want to cut right there where it's brown. So you get that nub. The nub is going to have the little, you're going to see the little things sticking out. The little buds. I call them little buds. It'll be like little knots, little nodules all around that tan area. That's your roots that's going to start. So once you take this off, see all this dead stuff? You're going to pull all that off. You're not going to hurt it. Then when you get it up a little bit, maybe about 3 layers, then anything that's got the little tips, you're going to cut it off so it looks nice. Stick it in your water. And it'll take about 14 to 21 days is what I wait. I wait till it gets some substantial roots. And then when I do that, I use Miracle Grow soil. That's just me. I use that with everything. And you're going to start out, you can start out in a smaller pot if you want to. It doesn't matter. I only repotted mine one time. And I don't know, let me see. My greenhouse looks like a hot mess right now, y'all. But you see how big this pot is? I'm not going to repot this. This is a big size pot. It's probably about a 10-inch, 12-inch, something like that. And I only repotted mine one time. And if you look down in here, look, y'all. It's already got another one growing in the dirt down there. So this one's going to be fruiting a lot. And I got a lot of slits all around this one that I can take off whenever they're about 6 to 8 inches long and stick them in water too. And when I get this one ripe, I'm going to take off the top of this one, and I'm going to also root it. So I'm going to have tons of pineapple plants. So y'all, pineapple plants, before I ever got with my daddy years ago, I thought they were the most wretched thing to grow. And they are not. They are not hard to grow. So when I get this one at 14 to 21 days, and I get substantial roots on it, I'm going to get me a pot, and I'm going to put it in Miracle Grow Pot and Sol, and it's probably going to be about a 6-inch pot that I started out in. There's all different kind of pineapples. This is just a plain pineapple that comes from the grocery store, okay? Just a plain, any grocery store that you go to, you can do this. I think I paid $1.98 for each one of my pineapples, and I got 2, okay? I just wanted to be able to show you the different parts of this. I put it in my water for 14 to 21 days, put it in my pot with some pot and Sol, and I use Miracle Grow Pot and Sol for everything, and I used it for this too. I'm going to pot it to where the roots, I want this root to get into the dirt. So I'm going to pot it about up to right where you start seeing the ridge right there in the dirt. And I'm going to water it once a week. Now, if you live in a place where it gets really, really hot, South Carolina is a very humid, hot place, okay? And in the summertime, I keep mine up under the porch. It gets a little bit of morning light. No direct afternoon light, and mine has grown. I'm telling you, it grew like a weed. Absolutely like a weed. So, and I ended up with pineapples and that big old thing in 2 years. Okay? So, anyway, it's easy peasy. Y'all do it. Try it. I promise you, you'll love it. And you'll end up with a fruit just like that. Okay? If you got any questions, comment in below. And please like and subscribe. And I appreciate you guys watching. And happy Mother's Day. Bye.